All right, welcome back, True Seeker. Congrats to the winners. A nice little sweep tonight in Monday Night Football and keeping us perfect 3-0 in World Series picks. Not to mention, we had both teams right for the AL and NL. Had the Dodgers in spring training, had the Yankees about midseason. But as we talked about, the games were scripted together tonight. And for people who don't know, Russell Wilson, drafted into Major League Baseball, NFL star, won a big Super Bowl in New York, the first ever quarterback to win the Super Bowl on the 33rd day of the year in the Giants and Jets Stadium, played a little spring training ball for the Yankees. We're going to talk about just how perfectly scripted it all is. If you're not subscribed to me on Gematria Effect Sports, I was making the live call explaining how significant Jackie Robinson in 42 is to this World Series as the score became 4-2, just like it was in Game 2. But again, every game so far has been about 42. In Game 1 of the World Series, the Yankees fell to 4-2 away in the postseason and picked up their 181st loss all time in the postseason. 181 is the 42nd prime number. In Game 2, the Dodgers won 4-2, getting their 42nd all-time win versus the Yankees. Now, tonight was the first game in New York, and the Dodgers became 4-2 on the road in the postseason, winning 4-2 after the Yankees hit a 2-run home run in the ninth to make it 4-2. And remember, the scoring in Game 1 was 6-3 after the death of Fernando Valenzuela at age 63. In Gematria, Major League Baseball equals 63 when you run the alphabetic order forwards. Major League equals 63 when you run it in reverse. We've been talking about how this whole season synced with Steve Garvey, who played for the Dodgers and Yankees. And the first game of this season was on the 63rd day of Steve Garvey's age, shortly after the death of the Padres owner at age 63, the day of the managers' meeting. Dodgers knocked out the Mets. They went through the other New York team in the NLCS, and the Mets were in their 63rd season, but then they win 6-3. In Game 2, by winning 4-2, the scoring became 10-5. And again, that matters because if Jackie Robinson, number 42, were alive, he'd be 105 years old. He was born in 1919. Remember, when the Dodgers advanced to the World Series, they got their 105th win of the season, winning 10-5. And by them winning 4-2 tonight, the scoring became 14-7 for both teams for the World Series. So it went from 6-3 to 10-5 to 14-7. In Gematria, World Series equals 147. The Dodgers started this postseason with the 147 World Series losses. And Game 1 of the World Series was 147 days after Dave Roberts' age. And if you go back to Thursday Night Football, before Game 1 of the World Series was played, Demarcus Robinson, caught the touchdown. And immediately after that, Al Michaels began talking about the World Series. And he was saying, R.I.P. Fernando Valenzuela. And he talked about the 147 pitches he threw in Game 3 of the World Series. And by the way, the next day it was announced that Rudy May of the Yankees had died. And if you go back and look at Game 3 of the 1981 World Series, Fernando Valenzuela faced Rudy May. They just both happened to die days before the World Series begins. Of course, this stuff goes on every year. Rig sports, ritual sacrifice. Been talking about it for over a decade and have dominated the World Series the whole time. So the NFL piece tonight. We had the Steelers to win with 26 points tonight, and for a very specific reason. And did you see the score of the Steelers game tonight? Because they did win with 26 points tonight. And here's why we had the Steelers to win with 26. Because if they scored 26 tonight, they were going to have 187 points for the year, as Mike Tomlin, the coach of the Steelers, got his 187th win. And we talked about where Russell Wilson fit in with this. Russell Wilson's now had 2 starts for the Steelers. His first one was against the New York Jets. His second one's against the New York Giants. And in both games, shout out to the first tipper of the night. I appreciate that very much. See who else can tip. I know a lot of people have been making a lot of money. Haven't been many tips, but hey, that's par for the course around here. Yours truly's used to helping people make a lot of money and get no tips. It's just something about this society. Yours truly's always been a good tipper. But anyway, shout out to the Don Mata and the other good people who have tipped over the years, but most people in my community don't tip. It's whatever. So Russell Wilson beating both New York teams in prime time with his first two starts with the Jesuit-run Steelers. His first start was last Sunday Night Football. This is the 105th NFL season. That was the 105th game of the 105th season. And remember, the Dodgers just advanced to the World Series on their 105th win, winning 10-5 that same Sunday night that Russell Wilson beat the New York Jets. And make sure I got this straight here. Something's barely slipping out of my mind. Oh, yes, Jackie Robinson, born in 1919. When the Dodgers advanced to the World Series, winning 10-5, that made home teams 19-19 for the postseason, like how Jackie Robinson was born in 1919. And it was such an easy pattern to follow. Home teams were 15-15 on the 15th, 16-16 on the 16th, 17-17 on the 17th, 18-18 on the 18th, and I believe 19-19 on the 19th. We've dominated this postseason, and it's actually been pretty damn easy. It's been one of the easier postseasons, just the way they've had it scripted. But look at these numbers. The Giants fell to 2-6 tonight. The Steelers became 6-2. Steelers won with 26 as Giants fell to 2-6. And look at this. Yankees, 26, right? Yankees, 26. If you write out New York Yankees, it's 187. Mike Tomlin got his 187th win tonight. The Steelers now have 187 points for the year. And we talked about all this stuff before the game. So, again, it's just, and again, you guys, we've been doing this for over a decade now. It's so undeniable how scripted these games are. The Steelers became 3-1 at home as the game was sealed on an interception by number 31, who also had a game-sealing interception last week on Sunday Night Football. We've always talked about the Steelers in 31. You learn these numbers, you see through the scripts. Just like yesterday, the big script with the Hail Mary finish for Jalen Daniels versus Caleb Williams on 18-date numerology, the Hail Mary where they bump it into the air for number 85 to catch it to win with 18 points. Commanders over Bears. And by the way, this week we went 13-3 in the NFL. Not our best week this year, but pretty much what we used to do every week back when I started because it was so much easier. But we've dominated every week in the NFL except for week 3 this year. And about the 18 as well in the score tonight. You know, it was the last game of week 8. If you saw Monday Night Football, there was absolutely no reason for the Giants to go for 2. And the announcers were saying, like, what was even the point of that? Well, we know what the point is. To make it an 8-point game for no reason in the final game of week 8 as the Dodgers chase their 8th World Series. And realize this whole ritual with the Dodgers. Here, that's what I forgot to say. Thursday Night Football. Matt Stafford had 105 yards passing at the half and picked up his 105th career win. And again, right after Robinson caught the touchdown from Matt Stafford, they started talking about the World Series. All synced up with what would be 105-year-old Jackie Robinson. And keep in mind, Jackie Robinson Day is typically April 15th, the 105th day of the year. All right. So before the World Series began, I explained to my community why if a team went up 3-0 and we thought it would be the Dodgers, it would be worth hedging the other side to come back and win. And I have been thinking the Dodgers are going to win the World Series, and they very well, I mean, they're on the verge of winning up 3-0. But again, if you guys have not taken my advice yet, I mean, everybody should be in the driver's seat in my community. We had Dodgers to win the World Series in spring training. I told people to hedge with the Yankees mid-season. So you should have two futures out there, so you're guaranteed to win. Right now, they're only paying 13-1 at this moment. You can see if the odds get better by tomorrow morning, but they're only paying 13-1 for the Yankees to come back and win the World Series. And I'm skeptical about this probability, but I said that this was a real scenario where a team would start 3-0 and very likely the Dodgers. And then there's the narrative for somebody to come back from down 0-3 and win. And why have I been saying this? Because of something I've been covering since last October when Tim Wakefield died at age 57, 57 weeks from Game 7 of this World Series. If you don't remember Tim Wakefield, he was the knuckleball pitcher for the Boston Red Sox who came back from 0-3 on the Yankees to break the 86-year drought, the curse of the Bambino. So if you go on Netflix right now, you'll see that as of today, what's trending on Netflix is The Comeback. And I didn't even realize this was on there, but it turns out they added it on October 23rd. Netflix is making sure everyone sees it tonight. It wasn't trending until today. But now that the Yankees are down 0-3, again, in 2004, if you guys don't know baseball history, the Yankees were up 3-0 on the Boston Red Sox. Boston came back and won the series, best of 7. They had to win 4 straight, and then they went on to break the 86-year drought. And look at the name of this series, right? The Comeback. What's that equal in Gematria? 86. It's interesting that the Comeback's also 41 because the first time the Yankees and Dodgers ever played in the World Series was in 1941, and the Yankees won that series 4-1, and LA's got the 41. Right, we all know what happened to Kobe Bryant at age 41 on the 41st day of the Pope's age. So here's what I'm saying. Wise men hedge their bets, right? 13-1. Let's just say you had a $100 future on the Dodgers to win the World Series in spring training at 7-1 or 8-1, what it was paying in spring training. You're in the driver's seat right now to win $700 to $800, right? 700 to 800 if they come through. If you took my advice and hedged with the Yankees midseason, they were paying about the same thing midseason to win the World Series. So either way, you're going to make money if you took my advice. If you only have one of those teams covered, or let's say you only have the Dodgers covered from spring training and you skip the Yankees future midseason that we recommended. The Yankees had a major ritual against Philadelphia this year, and we said, the Yankees last won the World Series 15 years ago over Philadelphia. This is the 120th World Series, the 15th triangular number. Is it possible they could win it again? So let's just say you have $100 out there. This is like mathematical intelligence. You're in the driver's seat to win between 700 and 800 on the Dodgers. So if you want to make sure that there's no way you can lose your money in case the Yankees come back, if you put $10 on the Yankees right now and they come back and win the World Series, that pays 130, which means you get back your future money and you make a small profit. If you wanted to risk a little bit more, because you're in position to win 700 to 800, whether you got 7-1 or 8-1 odds in spring training. If you wanted to wager $50, you're likely giving back $50, but it's an insurance bet at this time. It's 13-1. So if that hits, you're going to win $650. If not, and you got it at 7-1, you're going to win $650, right? So now you're putting yourself in position that you're going to win $650 no matter what. That's where the phrase "wise men hedge their bets" come from. So, again, I want you guys to be reminded of all this because I've been talking about this for a long time. Could we see a crazy comeback in the playoffs or in the World Series? I want to talk about the deaths of Tim Wakefield and his wife. Tim Wakefield died last year at 57. That's the World Series number. If the Dodgers finish off the Yankees, they're going to get their 57th win in the World Series all time. That's why we had the Dodgers as the favorites to win this. And obviously they still are, especially up 3-0. But World Series 57, right? So I put out this post. This post is from February 16th, 2024, right? Talking to my community at the beginning of the year. I've been talking about these things all year. From his death on October 1st, 2023 to Game 7 of the World Series is exactly 57 weeks. And Fenway Park's 120, that's where Boston plays. This ritual with the 120th World Series. Atlanta's also 120. The Braves began in Boston. So we've been trying to figure out this all year. What did Tim Wakefield's death have to do with this season? Keep in mind the Yankees, when they three-peated, they did beat Atlanta in part of that three-peat. They beat San Diego, Atlanta, and the New York Mets when they three-peated. So remember, it wasn't just Tim Wakefield who died. Then his wife died, Stacy Wakefield. And she died February 28th, 24 on 54 date numerology. Stacy Wakefield equals 54 like baseball, like 54 ounce in a game, like MLB's 54. Her name's got that Jesuit connection, again, to remind you who runs it. And notice, from her husband's death to her death was 150 days later. World Series in the base ciphers has the gematria of 57 and 150. Illuminati has the gematria of 120 and 150. This is the 120th World Series. And then also, Tim Wakefield was on the team that came back again, that broke the 86-year drought. His teammate ended up dying on the super special date of the Jesuits, April 19th, day in history that Ignatius of Loyola became the first superior general. And notice, from Tim Wakefield's passing to his teammate's death was 201 days later. And his name, David McCarty, 201, just like Ignatius of Loyola's 201, just like the Jesuit order's 201. It was also 51 days after Tim Wakefield's wife's death. So again, this was a major, major ritual. And you got to ask, why did they do this? And I wasn't even aware that this comeback thing was out on Netflix, but it's got me going like, wow, is this like just a blatant slap in the face? Again, the comeback equals 86, like how they broke the 86-year drought, that Boston team. Thus, the word comeback alone is 26. Remember, we were talking about this, why the Steelers should win with 26 tonight. Yankees 26. And comeback 53. You know, Boston Red Sox were the team, right? Remember when we told you the year of Super Bowl 53, we told you Boston would beat LA 4-1, 99 days from Super Bowl 53, which concluded the 99th season, which was won by New England. Patriots 53, Los Angeles 53, 16th prime, only 16 points scored in that game. Aaron Donald, number 99, was the star of the Rams, born on May 23rd, 523. 523 is the 99th prime. Patriots came into that season with 523 franchise wins. Nothing but scripts, because it's all perfectly planned out. But yeah, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder. Could it happen? It's within the realm of possibility. But yeah, don't get carried away and bet way more than you can afford to lose. I'm only advising this bet for people who are already in the driver's seat, guaranteed to make money. It's just a hedge bet where you don't have to put a lot down to ensure that you make a profit. Again, one more time, the math. If you bet 100 in spring training on the Dodgers to win the World Series like I advised, you're in position to make $700 to $800 if they close it out. $50 hedge bet right now on the Yankees to come back. You're potentially giving back $50 of your earnings, but you're also ensuring that you're going to make a hefty profit, because right now they're 13-1 to come back. And isn't it funny that when LeBron was down 3-1, it paid 40-1? Remember, I guaranteed that one for you guys, that he was coming back to win on the road, King James' birthday. All season, I told you that LeBron was going to beat the Warriors in that year's finals. All 3 years from before the season began, we said why those finals were going to be Warriors and Cavs. Stephen means crown. LeBron, King James, winning on the real King James's birthday. Then his daddy, Nate Thurman, dying by the numbers 27 days after he dropped 27. But I'm just making the point. They were paying 40-1 on that comeback. They're only paying 13-1 on the Yankees coming back right now, which seems pretty low for being down 0-3. Doesn't seem like much of a payout. But it is enough to ensure that you can make yourself a little profit and guard against any kind of crazy comeback scenario. This reminds me when the movie Long Shot came out. You remember the Kentucky Derby about a handful of years ago? A last-minute substitution horse with 50-some to 1 odds became the longest shot to ever win the Kentucky Derby, and it screwed like every bettor because the horse wasn't even there to bet on all week, and then it got a last-minute substitution, and that Friday, the big movie in Hollywood was the long shot. So we've seen this gimmicky stuff before, and again, sports are a script, so it's possible they're baiting people with that, but it's also possible that it could happen because I've been talking about this since before I even knew about the movie. Tim Wakefield, dead at 57 weeks before Game 7 when he was part of that comeback team. And so was his teammate who died by the numbers. And for all the haters out there, I mean, I don't know why you guys hate on what I do. Had you followed my advice for a decade, you'd be way up. And again, just to let you know what we do, you always hear the trolls say that we don't pick clear winners, but every day we pick clear winners. What was the password? 4242 today? Yeah, it was 4242. Where you get the 4-2 score. Here's all the work I put down to give people data and information and help them see just how much is behind these scripts. But then at the bottom of everything, there's always a conclusion. And again, you guys see the work we put in. It's like a novel that I put out each day. You get a lot. So we've had the series conclusion the whole time. Why you got to favor the Dodgers with the World Series numbers. But Game 3 conclusion. I think the Dodgers have a good narrative to start 3-0 based on the Jackie narrative. In the 1981 World Series, the Dodgers won Game 3. That was the year Fernando Valenzuela pitched a complete game, and Rudy May also appeared in the game. They both died before Game 1 of the 2024 World Series. Keep in mind, this game was 43 years ago, and the Dodgers pick up their 43rd postseason win versus the Yankees tonight. Robinson equals 43. The Yankees fell to 4-3 away in the postseason in Game 2. Remember, they fell to 4-2 in Game 1. Jackie 42, Robinson 43. Just like when Chadwick Boseman died on the makeshift Jackie Robinson Day, he was first reported dead at 42, and then they changed it to 43. He was in the movie The Number 42 about Jackie, and he was also in the movie The Black Panther, and they moved the Jackie Robinson Day that year because of COVID to Jack Kirby's birthday, who wrote Black Panther. And Jackie Robinson was also in the tank brigade in World War II called the Black Panthers. It says if the Dodgers get their third win versus the Yankees, they will become 11-22 at the Yankees in the postseason. Master number set. That's something we teach about. It hits all the time in sports. If somebody can become 22-11 or 11-22, it happens almost every time. Numerology, master numbers. It's just like when we had Tiger as a lock to win the Masters 11 years after his last major and 22 years after his first Masters. Not to mention we've got 5 of the last 6 Masters winners correct. Show me anybody who's done that. Also, if the Dodgers do win today, if anyone's wondering what year I missed, it was the first time Scotty Scheffler won it because he just came out on the scene out of nowhere. We didn't miss this past year, though. They weren't even paying anything for him to win. 5-1 at the start of the tournament. Also, if the Dodgers do win today, they'll become 4-2 away in the postseason. Jackie equals 42, and the Yankees will get their 42nd all-time loss at home in the World Series. Keep in mind, in Game 1, the Yankees got their 181st postseason loss, the 42nd prime, and in Game 2, the Dodgers won 4-2, picking up their 42nd win versus the Yankees in the postseason. Actually, that was a typo where I wrote in the postseason. They actually picked up their 42nd win versus the Yankees all time is what I meant to write there. If you went up in my notes, you would have saw that's what I meant. For another 42, the Yankees have also allowed 42 runs in the postseason. That's for this year. If the Dodgers do win today, it opens up the sweep narrative tomorrow. And keep that in mind. That's why I'm telling you guys, don't go out and bet the house on the Yankees coming back. It's possible, but there again, the initial thought was the Dodgers would win this thing. They got better numbers to do it. It's just the Tim Wakefield death and being down 0-3 has got me going, especially Netflix adding this comeback thing. If the Dodgers do win today, it opens up the sweep narrative tomorrow. The Dodgers could get their 109th win of the season on the 29th. 109 is the 29th prime number. Once again, in 63, the Dodgers swept the Yankees. sort of like how the Dodgers won 6-3 in game one. They did it on October 6th. This is when they swept them in 63. They swept on October 6th, 10-6. Like how the 10th inning of game one, the Dodgers put up their 6th runs in the 10th inning, 6th runs, 10-6, winning the 106th game of the season. The relationship with 106 and 29 is the word black, as in black history, as in Jackie, the first black baseball player in white major league. Again, black equals 29 and 106. So there is a narrative to sweep tomorrow. It could happen. Tomorrow leaves 63 days left in the year, like 1963, like Fernando Valenzuela at 63. And I'll tell you what, had the Dodgers won 4-0 tonight, I would have thought that was a damn near lock. But yeah, again, if you're in the driver's seat, if you followed my advice all season, I do encourage a small hedge bet in case the Yankees come back, because right now it's 13-1. If the Yankees win tomorrow and stay alive in game 4, you know that value is probably going to drop to about 6-1. So small little insurance bet just in case, keeps you in the driver's seat and makes sure you make a nice profit. And that's where the phrase comes from, wise men hedge their bets. And, most people in my community are playing with a lot of house money, especially this season. We've absolutely torched the postseason. We've been torching the NFL, again, 13-3 this week. And yeah, just nothing but haters out there. Always trying to denounce what we're doing, and just long bullshit comments constantly in the comment section. Here, I want to show you something that this video a troll put up. A guy whose channel was allowed to go to 500,000 subs, but somehow can't get enough. I just want you to see what this troll did today. And then I want you to see his comment section. I just want you guys to understand the campaign that's out there to slander my name and lie about all of our accomplishments and downplay the accomplishments. Again, this guy right here is a total loser. If you don't know him, don't worry about total loser. But look at this video he made. I think he's in love with me. I'm being stalked by a Gematria cult leader and his followers. Just so you guys know who this is, it's somebody who lives near the Oklahoma City area. And when we came to Oklahoma City for April 19th to wake up the world to what really went down in 95 on Ignatius of Loyola Day with CIA asset Timothy McVeigh, this guy skipped town, went to Vegas, the Trump Tower, because he didn't want to get called out for not being there with us. He says he's trying to fight the federal government and wake people up to their tyranny. But then when we show up in his town and he could come out there and help us, he bounces out of town. And if you guys don't know what happened to me when I got there, I had the police and security waiting for me. I had them go hands-on. I had somebody come over from the federal building and threaten me. I get back to my hotel. The same feds who gave me a letter in person had it on my car. And to this day, I think the feds keyed my car. Somebody keyed my car in Oklahoma City. And it happened at the same time they put the envelope on the car. But the thing is, this guy had a video up about them going hands-on with me at the security when I showed up on the scene in no time. And it's like being stalked. I mean, this guy was obviously ready for the ambush that happened to me, because he had a video up on it so fast it was crazy. I was like still on the street arguing with the security and police about why I should be able to come on the campus and take a tour of the museum. This guy's already got a video up about it. And realize this is what the trolls always do, right? They accuse us of being a cult. How are we a cult? I'm sharing knowledge and showing how the game's rigged, from federal politics to rigged sports. I don't know where sharing knowledge counts as a cult. This guy associates with people that I would say are a cult. You guys know who Paul Unslaved is? He makes all of his community refer to him as Daddy. He's friends with Paul Unslaved. I mean, that's weird. Everybody calls Paul Daddy. It's like, who does this? Like, what grown man asks other men to call him Daddy? So that's one of his associates. He's friends with Owen Benjamin. They're cool. Owen Benjamin, they all call each other the Bear Club. As Owen Benjamin makes his cult send him $400 and then lies to him. But anyway, then he accuses us of being the cult. But here's all I want people to see. Is you go to the comment section of this video, look at all these bullshit ass comments. After the fact, Zach is a scam artist and total fraud. Hmm. Is that true, or am I the person who has more correct predictions about everything than everyone else combined? And I'll stand on that statement. Show me all the correct predictions of the rest of the people in the world and put them up against mine and let me know who's winning. I haven't seen anybody else calling earthquakes, hurricanes, sports games, news stories, celebrity deaths, crypto, market, etc., like we have for over a decade. I don't know anybody else that's even close. But all these people everywhere constantly saying after the fact, Zach. How many primetime games have we called the score dead on this year? This season alone, we called scores in prime times. I can't even keep track of how many times. Probably more than anybody else ever has in their lifetime. Same guy, Zachary K. Fraud. Uh, uh, you know, let's see. After same guy just spamming the same thing everywhere. This guy's the definition of cringe. If you're talking about Brian, that would make sense. Let's see. Gematria never predicts the future. So just like in the last, let's just say in the last 2 months, how many correct predictions do we have from what would happen in the news to earthquakes to hurricanes to sports? Never predicts the future. I would guarantee that in the last 2 months, I have more correct predictions than anybody else out there. Um, yeah, how did so many people call in to his live stream from my channel? Again, it's like more people are following me than the guy that supposedly had a 500,000 subs. Um, let's see. Brian in his video tried to say that my troll is exposing that I'm a liar. No, my troll will never debate, and all he'll do is clip up videos and play things out of context. And again, there's only one time him and I have ever been on a stream together, and he got super embarrassed in that debate. And the friend who was hosting it for him took it down right after because he got his ass handed to him. And again, you'll never see him try to debate me again. Got absolutely smoked and blown out of the water. Again, it's easy to chop up somebody's videos, play things out of context, and make somebody look bad. That's what political attack ads are. And keep in mind that guy's been trolling for how many straight years? And what, he has 80 some videos. So 365 times 5 is like what, 1,800 days. Out of those 1,800 days, he's been able to make a video 80 some days. 80 some days out of 1,800. How do you think we did on the other 1,720 days? I rest my case. Not to mention all of his videos are bullshit anyway. Here's a guy who's a total troll who copies my work and makes a living off it and doesn't give credit. Again, just the shill network here. This guy, here's Kathy the troll. This is Kathy the troll right here, who cost me a lot of money begging to help me and then cost me about $1,000 by purposefully screwing me over when I knew I shouldn't have trusted her. Of course, she's hanging out with Brian. Ari Gold, Jewish name. If Zachary Capert was legit, he'd bet his own picks. And your evidence I don't is where? I mean, just stupid comments everywhere. If you have zero interest in my work, but you follow Brian, you're not very smart. Let's see. Oh, look at this guy. He couldn't. He doesn't like me because I can't accept the Earth is flat. Actually, I can prove the Earth isn't flat. Big difference. People who understand mathematics understand the Earth isn't flat. Yeah, just all these weirdo comments. And you know why some people have all these weirdo perceptions about us, or just dumb opinions? Because there's so many shills who've been working to slander my name and the work. I mean, again, you can take this whole fake truth community of this network of shills and put their resume up against mine. They don't have shit. I mean, they're not doing anything. They don't have any real proof of anything, nothing to stand on, no resume of accomplishments, just nothing. Nothing. 1 week of my videos is worth more than the rest of this fake community has been putting out for years. And that's why none of them will debate either, because they know they're going to get smoked and outshined. They're going to be singing like Chris Cornell, outshined, outshined, outshined. You know what I mean? So it looks like there's one intelligent person in the comment section. He says, this comment section is exactly what you, Brian, say all the time, cognitive dissonance. And you're also in the state of mind, Brian. You just haven't gone deep enough yet. Saying you're being stalked is a bit overboard. Yeah, especially when it's him doing the stalking. Weirdo network waiting for me in Oklahoma City, and he's got a video to go in no time about it. And you know what's funny, actually, the irony about that? It was Jackie Robinson Day, and I was telling them, I was teaching them about 42 in that video. You know what? We should actually go back and look at that. Brian's uploaded that same video multiple times since it happened. That's kind of ironic now that I think about it. It was Jackie Robinson Day because I got down there before April 19th. It was April 15th. I was teaching the security guards there, throwing me off the campus about 42. Saying you're being stalked is a bit overboard, and not taking his call because you know he would end up making you look stupid makes sense. Exactly. That's the real truth right there. And he knows it too. That's why he has to lie and slander and see, that's what annoys me about the whole troll network. They lie about me while they are the liars. Brian has said for years he will not debate me because I used ad hominem attacks against him. Meanwhile, he markets debates with other people who've attacked him with much worse ad hominems, including Anomaly, another shill, including Owen Benjamin, another shill. So again, it's Brian's whose words don't add up. I subscribe to both of you and can understand you both are focused on different topics, but at the same time, so much of the same. Exactly. He's speaking against the federal government, and so am I. It's just I got way more proof for my points. Brian, I think you and the majority of your subscribers have just not gone deep enough and have no idea what you're even saying. 100%. Thumbs up. Well, this guy's wrong. That's not where this system of gematria came from. It came from the Catholic Church, who gave us the calendar and the language at the same time. So yeah, again. Well, it looks like some people down here. See, isn't it funny how Google sinks the better comments down to the bottom? All the bullshit comments go to the top. Good comments get sunk to the bottom. But yeah, the point is there's just so many people who have a totally false perception of me and the work we're doing, which is unprecedented, which is undeniable. And Brian in his video, I'm not even going to play the video, but he's like, well, like if Gematria Gray doesn't predict anything, it's like, how can you be saying that right now? I mean, like, what haven't we predicted right? what haven't we been right about? This guy's never predicted one thing in his life, and then he's trying to criticize our work because it doesn't predict things when it does all the time. Isn't it weird how that's another shill tactic? They're always saying that the work doesn't predict anything when we're just stacking up predictions every day. Every day we're stacking up predictions. These people don't predict anything, but then somehow the point I'm trying to make is the whole shill network has come up with this list of repetitive talking points that they all say. Zach's a bad guy. He's a cult leader. Gematria doesn't predict anything. It's like, okay, none of these things are true, but everyone keeps repeating them. If you repeat the lie enough, then it becomes the truth in the sheep's minds. So anyhow. Shout out to, we got 4 tippers tonight. So you put the cash up on the screen to get some tips. All right. Thank you, Eminique. Thank you, Timothy Pittman. Thank you, Kendrick Shelton. Thank you, Frank Hernandez. Appreciate it. And out here in the super chats, thank you, Gematria Sense. Yeah, before the fact, Zach, exactly. Always has been. Correct predictions from the beginning. Very first video I ever put up was a correct prediction. Well, I'm sure if you're watching the stream, I already answered your question. So It's the 120th World Series. Game 6 is on the 120th day of Ohtani's age. Game 7's 120 days after his birthday. That's one way to look at it. It's hard to say exactly what game this is going to end in. So, again, if you took my advice, you're already in the driver's seat. You can just sit back like this and just see how much money you're going to collect by the time it's over. Just be chilling. Again, like we do year after year. Last year, we had Rangers to win it with 50-1 odds, game 1. Simple Troll is trying to take credit for my prediction. I get tired of that Simple Troll character, that no-class piece of shit, taking credit for my predictions. I put out on my social media page the narrative for the Dodgers to sweep after game 1 because of the 10-6. Within an hour, he's got a video up about how they can sweep, talking about how it's his predictions. Like, God, this guy's a loser. He's just such a piece of shit. The guy doesn't call anything without copying me. Just total piece of shit the guy is. But yeah, Rangers 50-1. Boom. Checked it. We told you why Bush. It was all connected to Bush, game 1, who used to run the Rangers. We said why the World Series, the 119th, should end on his 119th day of his age, 4-1, exactly like it did. Skull and Bones, 41. He's a member. 118th World Series, we had to represent the World Series in the NL in spring training, take the Dodgers or the Phillies to win the pennant. Phillies were 20-1 to win the pennant. They got it done. Dodgers didn't pay as much, but they were the two teams with the 118 connection. I didn't have the Astros in spring training who went on to win it all, but we saw what they were going to do on the anniversary of the Astro World tragedy. The year before that, we had Braves to win the World Series in spring training, the 117th. They changed their ballpark name to Truist Park, 117. Freddie Freeman, who's on the Dodgers now, Dodgers 117. Oh, by the way, look at this, you guys. Russell Wilson tonight. Again, this whole thing connected to Russell Wilson, who plays baseball as well. Russell Wilson tonight in the regular season improved to 117-72. Here, let me pull up my NFL write-up for you guys. And we'll come back and hold on. I'll come back to this in a second, but hold on. 116th World Series. I told you I was in New Orleans educating about Billy Cannon's death and Joe Burrow's rigged LSU championship when Mookie Betts got traded to the Dodgers right after Kobe's death on 4-2. And I said, there it is. Dodgers will win the World Series this year. In a Jackie Robinson tribute, it's the 116th World Series. African-American equals 116. Jackie 42. Boom. That was a lock. 115th World Series. I didn't have either team right in spring training. But we ended up making a fortune on this one because we had the Nationals to beat the Astros in Game 7 before the Nationals had even clinched the playoffs. And we picked it when they were on the outside looking in. It looked like they weren't even going to make the playoffs. Major payout. All synced with Donald Trump, who won the 115th election. Remember, Donald Trump equals 138 like Nationals, like Dave Martinez, their manager. Nationals won the World Series 138 days after Trump's birthday. The Astros picked up their 57th postseason loss, losing in Game 7. Nationals and Astros 57. We knew the Astros. Actually, I take it back. We thought the Astros had a good chance to be in the World Series in spring training, but I wasn't 100% sure. They had a major ritual with the Rangers very early in the season. We said, okay, the Astros are definitely the team in the AL, but it wasn't quite spring training. It was probably, what was it? I don't know. It might have been. If people are here with that season, we had the game picked out where the Astros were going to beat the Rangers 9-4 in tribute to the 94-year-old Bush who just died. They did that, and we said, okay, it's Lock City. The Astros are in. We had the score right of that game, big payout. To go back and look, it was years ago now, but Fat Arthur's calling in. Here, Fat Arthur, I'll take your call in a minute. Let me finish going down the road. We don't need to really hear you calling in bullshit and lie, which is all you do. But 114th World Series. That was the year I helped a dentist make $350,000. We had July 1st put out why the Dodgers would lose to Boston in the World Series in Game 5. Boston winning 4-1, synced up with 41-year-old Tom Brady, who'd win that same Super Bowl over the LA Rams. Putting those two things together was a monster payout future. The rich got richer. A lot of people hit on it too, but one gentleman made $350,000 off that. That was the 114th World Series. I didn't have that right in spring training, but again, we saw how it synced up with the Super Bowl and the World Series at the start of July. 113th World Series. That's the one Vice News wrote the hit piece on me for. At the end of August, we explained why the Astros would win their first World Series over the Dodgers when Harvey had flooded Houston by the numbers, and Matt Harvey became the first pitcher to pitch in Houston after the flooding, and LA was on fire at the La Tuna fires. End of August. And both of those teams, the Astros and Dodgers, were teams we were looking at from spring training time. But then once those rituals happened with the weather warfare, again, it was all perfectly synced with the World Series. Plus, Fox News did the woman in Houston who had a home on a hill in the neighborhood. The whole neighborhood was underwater except for her house. And they asked her how she felt about it. And she goes, I feel like I won the World Series with an Astros shirt on. I was like, oh, my God. Wish I still had that video with that clip. That was 113th. 112th. Guaranteed in spring training, the Cubs would end the 108-year drought like the 108 double stitches on a baseball. Major League 108. 111th World Series. Mets, huge payout in spring training to win the pennant. New York 111. We had the Mets in the 111th World Series in spring training. And I did think there was a chance there might be a Subway Series that year because New York saw 111. The Yankees didn't make it, but the Mets were the team we felt the most strongly about because it was all connected to Matt Harvey when he was still a Met. And remember, the 111th World Series. The only game the Mets won was 3-9. Again, New York's 111 and 39, and that day before that game was played, they were talking about the 1986 World Series where the dude came down in a parachute. They were talking about it all day before the game. I said, look at this. I think the Mets are going to win 3-9 today. And that's exactly what the Mets. The only game the Mets won in the 111th World Series was 3-9. Nice payout in that. New York 111 and 39. 111th World Series ended on November 1st. Matt Harvey got pulled after 111 pitches after Eric Hosmer stepped to the plate with a 111 batting average, driving in the tying run that got Harvey pulled from the game. Nothing but scripts, nothing but the same old numbers. And yeah, like this 78 here in New York matters too. That's the 12th triangular number. Just like how Boston, the only 78 team whose full name in the NBA, we had them last year before the season began to win the finals. The finals began on Boston Celtics' 78th birthday, but the point I'm making is 78 is the 12th triangular number. Boston outscored Dallas by 12 points, winning the finals last year for the whole series. This is the 12th time Boston and LA are meeting this year. And this whole thing is synced with Steve Harvey. This whole season's been synced with Steve Garvey. I might just said Steve Harvey. Steve Garvey, the former Dodger and Padre, we've been talking about this whole season, how the whole season synced with him. He was in that 78 World Series between the Dodgers and Yankees, which was the 75th edition of the World Series. And that's how old Steve Garvey is right now, 75. And again, I mean, just nothing but scripts. He's expected to become senator in California. The election's right after the World Series. And what's crazy is look at the 1978 World Series. Look at the score of Game 1 in light of the election this year falling on November 5th. Look at the score of Game 1, 11-5. The Dodgers won 11-5. Again, you guys, this stuff's planned out long in advance. It's just one big theatrical script. It's just like your favorite TV show, General Hospital, whatever, that has a gazillion seasons. It's the same thing with pro sports. And a lot of these scripts are written out long in advance. Freddie Freeman, wasn't he born in the same year? Wasn't he born in the same year that, what's-his-face hit the walk-off home run? And then they've got to tell you that they happen at the same time. They both happen at 8:37 p.m., 36 years apart. Dodgers win at 6-3. From the Yankees' perspective, it's 3-6. I mean, it's just like, come on. Freddie Freeman, again. Russell Wilson tonight becomes 117-72. Freddie Freeman was on that 117th World Series winning Atlanta Braves team. But yeah, here, NFL Week 8 right up for tonight. Talking about how this seemed to all be about Russell Wilson, how home teams could win the 63rd game of the season tonight for the NFL. Major League Baseball 63. RIP. Major League alone 63. Major League Baseball is also 63. Baseball alone, 54 forwards and backwards, 54 outs in a game, 18 as well like half innings, 162 like games in a season. Russell Wilson, 54, also 81, like how this is a rematch of the 81 World Series. But as I wrote up, home team started the week becoming 54-54. That was with, again, Matt Stafford. The game where Matt Stafford made it 54-54 for home teams this year, as Robinson caught the touchdown and they started talking about the World Series. Again, that was the 108th game of this season, 108 days before the Super Bowl. All things connected, little World Series tribute synced up with the upcoming NFL championship where they sew 108 game balls. And again, why do they do that? Has to do with geometry. The football is the Vesica Pisces, the most important shape in football, or in sacred geometry, excuse me. Vesica Pisces, 53 and a yard wide field, 53-man roster, blah, blah, blah. But here, just scrolling down. Let's just scroll down to the write-up. Again, I go through and decode all this stuff. By the way, check out this guy right here, Calvin Austin III. Look at this big write-up on him tonight. How the Butler, he was a huge payout tonight. He ended up having 2 touchdowns tonight, but he had all these Trump things going on. Remember, they've connected Trump to Pittsburgh through the Butler shooting. Shooting 107. Today's 107 days after the Butler shooting. What stood out about this guy who had this big game tonight for Pittsburgh is he's 25 years old. Trump equals 25. He was the 138th pick of the draft. Donald Trump 138. Last week, we had McDonald as the lock for the sack for the Jets right after Trump was serving French fries at McDonald's by the numbers. It was 138 days after his 25th birthday. And he wears number 99, like Sunday Night Football's 99, and that was 99 days after the shooting thing, that Sunday Night Football game ritual. Now it's 107. But this Calvin Austin dude, his name, Calvin Austin III, 107 to go with 107 days after the shooting. Again, athletes born and bred to be for planned scripts that would interlock with politics. Again, this might seem like too much to fathom, but this is what they're doing, you guys. This is the Illuminati. They're light years ahead of the average person. It's just like the Kansas City Royals franchise is younger than King Charles. Remember what they did this year. 330 days after Charles' birthday, the Yankees got their 330th win versus the Royals. And then 331 days after King Charles' birthday, they got their 331st win versus the Royals, closing out the Royals for the year. 331's the 67th prime, like Kansas City 67, like King is 67, like how they sacrificed those 2 UCLA players when LeBron went to LA within days of him arriving there, and they both died in 67 rituals, like blood sacrifice is also 67. Like how back in the day they sacrificed people for the king, and you learned about how civilizations like the Mayans did that with their great athletes for the king. Same stuff's going on today. But the other thing is Charles' birthday is November 14th, and the night that the Yankees closed out the Royals, home teams fell to 11-14 in the postseason, like the King's birthday. Like how the other year on his 74th birthday, we got the 2 stories about the killings on Kings Road at the University of Idaho, and also with the Virginia Cavaliers football players, when Cavaliers were those who fought for King Charles in the English Civil War. Killing 74 like the King. And University of Idaho's in Moscow, which also equals 74, going with the Kings Road killings. And if you missed my work on that, it was all tied in with Jack the Ripper, where a lot of people think Jack the Ripper was really royalty. And he was killing in London, another 74, like English, like Gematria, like the song Gematria, the Killing Name. Anyway. But yeah, Calvin Austin, just tons of things going on. He had a big game tonight. He had the longest write-up. But right here, conclusion. The top clues are the Steelers getting their 15th home win in the series and Daniel Jones getting his 15th loss in primetime and falling to 0-8 in Monday Night Football in Week 8 as his team loses by 8 because of a needless 2-point conversion, which made 0 sense other than for the numerical ritual. And all the guys who wore 8 that were quarterbacks lost this week. Some weeks you'll see them all win together. Some weeks you'll see them all lose together. It was crazy 8s this week, right? If you're playing cards, it was crazy 8s. All the 8s went down, including Lamar Jackson in the biggest upside of the week. And I did advise a dollar parlay on the Browns. I didn't really think they were going to win, though. That 38's been magical with the Ravens this year. They lost on a 38-yard touchdown. Stefanski stayed on 38 losses. Ravens 38. Anyway, additionally, Russell Wilson can stay on 72 losses, Monday 72, Wilson can also improve to 117 and 72 in the regular season. Again, Dodgers, 117-72. He plays in primetime and beats both New York teams. Former baseball player, played for the Yankees in spring training. In seemingly a tribute to the Dodgers, who are playing in Game 3 of the World Series tonight, Russell Wilson wears number 3. If that happens, home teams will get the 63rd win of the season, Major League Baseball 63. It would go with the death of Fernando Valenzuela, who died at age 63, and who won in Game 3 of the World Series 43 years ago. As for 43 years ago, Daniel Jones can get his 43rd career loss tonight. If that happens, the Steelers will get their 34th win versus the NFC East, similar to how Fernando Valenzuela wore number 34. Also, the Giants will fall to 2-6. Yankees 26. For one more, Tomlin can improve to 11-1 at home on Monday Night Football. New York equals 111. If that happens, he'll get his 187th win, and perhaps the Steelers win with 26. New York Yankees 187, Yankees 26. Remind me what happened. and again, you just got to love the Giants losing with 18 or not the Giants, but the Giants. Yeah, the Giants losing with 18, just in a baseball tribute. Like last year, they made bases 18 inches long. Again, we've been teaching you guys this stuff for a year. It's all scripted together. All the major sports leagues are scripted together. The politics is scripted together. There's nothing more to prove. I don't need to call another thing for the rest of my life. And look at ESPN's story tonight. They got to make it 34 seconds long, like Fernando Valenzuela won Game 3, number 34. Remember what we were saying about Thursday night football? Here, let me pull it up right here. What we were saying about Thursday night football, a day after the announced death of Fernando Valenzuela. We were showing what would happen to the team records. We had LeBron beating Minnesota opening night, 213 points in the game. LA, the 2-1-3. Stafford won the Super Bowl for LA in the 2-1-3. And what? Am I in the... Oh, shit. No, it's NFL Week 8. My bad. I went back to NFL Week 7. It was the first game of Week 8. Let me pull it up here. I moved it down to the bottom of the notes. Right here. So just right here, the simple thing, how the Vikings could fall to 5-2 and the Rams could improve to 3-4 right after he was announced dead. Remember what they did with Fernando Valenzuela? Announced dead as the Lakers were closing out Minnesota to open the 79th NBA season. Fernando Valenzuela, 79. He was a Cy Young winner, 79. LeBron Raymond James, 79. You had the Griffeys in attendance, who played for Seattle, the last father-son duo. The city of Seattle won the 79 NBA championship. LeBron got his 205th win with the Lakers opening night and stayed on 79 home losses with the Lakers opening night. Again, a tribute to the Griffeys baseball as they announced the death of Fernando Valenzuela. But look, in the background is number 52 and number 34. And think about what happened to Minnesota. They fell to 5-2, and the Rams became 3-4. And 34 is the 9th Fibonacci number, and Stafford wears 39, he wears number 9, like baseball's a game of nines. And again, just falling to 5-2. Minnesota's 52, like they hosted Super Bowl 52. Los Angeles Rams, 52. But yeah, these tickers that they always put up here are just like slaps in the face. Fernando, number 34, won the Game 3 43 years ago. So, Dat Boy Famous said, "Yo, Zach, I'm a crypto guy, so I want Trump to win the election. Does the Gematria point to him winning?" Like I said, they've made this narrative super complicated with the things they've done. It's interesting how Trump can win the election and Kamala can still become president if Biden doesn't finish his term. Because remember, Gerald Ford said the first female president will not be voted in. She'll become president when an old man dies and there's a woman vice president. And again, he said that at the Herbert Hoover Library. And Kamala was born the same day Herbert Hoover died, October 20th, 1964. The year of the Civil Rights Act, also the year that Trump began his Jesuit education at Fordham about a month earlier. Harris is similar to the name Harrison, The shortest term president in U.S. history was William Henry Harrison, who died after 1 month of taking office. Trump's trying to become Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland was the only split term president. And remember, we had, but at the beginning of this postseason, we had Yankees and Dodgers to represent in the World Series, and we thought the ALCS would be Yankees and Cleveland, what it was, and we thought the NLCS would be Dodgers and Mets. And the reason we thought Yankees and Cleveland in the ALCS is because of the Grover Cleveland symbolism. Grover Cleveland, split term president. If you look at this, you guys. The ALCS was decided on the day leaving 73 days left in the year. Grover Cleveland equals 73. Cleveland Guardians equals 73. ALCS equals 73. Okay? The next day, the Dodgers closed out the NLCS on the day leaving 72 days left in the year. And of course, Jackie Robinson died in 72, 52 years ago, as the Dodgers in Cali tried to win the 52nd World Series for the NL, kind of like how the night before the Rams beat Minnesota, dropping them to 5-2 on the 52nd death anniversary of Jackie Robinson, when again, DeMarcus Robinson scored the touchdown, and then immediately they started talking about the World Series and the death of Fernando Valenzuela, like the audience is brain dead and can't put 2 and 2 together, because sadly they can't. But again, I've been talking about for the longest time how Trump was going to come back at 78 and be Grover Cleveland, and that very well still can happen. But they've done some crazy stuff with Kamala. It's got me humming and hawing, and I'm not, like, I was 1,000,000% confident Joe Biden would become number 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday in 2020. In 2016, I was very confident Trump would become the president, and then the things they did with Hillary and him made me start to think it was going to be Hillary, and I find myself in the same thing right now. So I'm like, should I just stick with the initial thought that it's going to be Trump? Because it's just like I'm having deja vu of the 2016 election. But at the end of the day, it also, what people need to understand is it doesn't matter which one of these stooges they put in there, they're stooges. And remember, they did a lot of King James stuff with Trump, who also has a Bible, like Trump now has a Bible. November 5th, the day of the election, is the day that the Jesuits in the Catholic Church tried to blow up King James with fireworks. And if you didn't see the headline today, somebody threw fireworks in the ballot boxes in Portland and Vancouver, Washington, separated by the Columbia River, those two cities, like the District of Columbia. But it's funny how they burned up ballots with fireworks, and the election is again on the day that the Jesuits tried to blow up King James with fireworks. And that's part of the reason in this Jesuit-controlled nation we shoot off fireworks on the 4th of July, the day that Jefferson and Adams died together, who warned about what could happen if the Jesuits came out of suppression and hijacked this nation. So they say initial thoughts are the best one, but we'll see what happens. Just learn Gematria and you can kill crypto. Just like at the beginning of this year, I told you guys, Bitcoin will be up to 72,000 on the 72nd day of the year. Pull your earnings out right then. Everybody wanted to argue with me in the comment section. They're like, no, it's going up to 150,000. And then it went up to 72,000. And the next day it did get to 73. And then it came crashing down. I noticed it's skyrocketing right now while the Dodgers are on the verge of the World Series. Again, Bitcoin equals 72. God, actually, Bitcoin's a lot like Dodgers, isn't it? Money is 72. That's why I made the prediction at the beginning of this year that it would be up to 72,000 by the 72nd day of the year, which it was. But look at Bitcoin and Dodgers, because I know it's surging right now, and it's probably pretty close to 72,000 right now. Isn't that funny how Bitcoin and Dodgers are so similar? Look at that. It's on the verge of 72,000 right now while the Dodgers are on the verge of the World Series. Wouldn't it be something if the Dodgers did collapse and the comeback happened and Bitcoin collapsed as well? But again, you guys, the Jesuits control it all. The rig money system, the rig crypto system, the rig sports system, 32 sun rays on the Jesuit orders logo. It's why the Dodgers broke the 32-year drought versus the Rays, like the 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo. Jesuit orders 72. Oh man, the way they do it's crazy. But and by the way, just the whole Jackie 42. Again, it's the Jesuits that put the 42 code on black people. It comes right from the New Testament that begins with the 42 generations of Jesus, where the only physical description of him is that of someone that's got to be at least of part African descent. Definitely a darker complected person. So thank you very much, Blizzard Peak. And Thick Nectar chipped in 6.99 Canadian, said, "Hey Zach, what's your pick for the rig selection?" Oh, another person asked me the same thing. Yeah, again, I'd be real careful with that bet right now because I was thinking it was going to be Trump for a long time, and it still could be. But the stuff they've done with Kamala has made things very interesting. So, um, remember, Gerald Ford said the first woman will not be voted in. It'll happen when an old man dies. So it is possible that Trump wins the election, Biden doesn't finish the term, Kamala becomes president, but and then again you got a Harris right before Trump becomes Grover Cleveland, like it was Harrison between Grover Cleveland split terms. But yeah, I'm honestly not comfortable with what they're going to do right now. Supposedly, everything's saying that Trump is pretty much in the driver's seat, but they said that for Hillary in 2016. They said it was going to take a miracle for Trump to win. Even Fox News was acting like Trump had lost the election before they called it for him. And here's one other thing I'll tell you about Trump. I'll remind you guys about this one more time. President Donald Trump equals 248. If you go back to 2016, when Bill and Hillary conceded in purple, synced up with the death of Prince from Purple Rain. Remember, you guys, Purple Rain equals 58. Prince's girlfriend, Vanity, died the day of the 58th Grammys. Trump announced from the 58-story Trump Tower, went on to win the 58th election. Bill and Hillary again concede in purple. But anyway, when Bill and Hillary conceded, Trump was on 248 electoral votes. He ended up with more, but they conceded while he was at 248. Right now, the country is 248 years old. And Trump had that mug shot from Atlanta on 24/8. So again, is that another clue? Well, we'll find out soon enough, unless what it means is this is the end of the Trump presidency chapter while the country's 248. Because if he lost, I doubt he would run again. Because, I mean, how old would he be in 2028? He'd be... And let's not forget, the Simpsons have Ivanka Trump becoming president in 2028, if you didn't know that. For the record, Ivanka will be 47 years old in the 2028 election. Trump's 47. Like, Ivanka Trump's 47. Like, Lisa Simpson's 47. Again, Lisa Simpson wears purple with a pearl necklace like Kamala wore for Inauguration Day, which is what the whore of Babylon wears in Revelation 17. And again, that's why Biden passed the torch to Kamala on 21/7, 217 days after the Pope's birthday. And it's also why Trump gave the Pope a lotus flower. Kamala means lotus flower. He gave the Pope a lotus flower when he went to the Vatican May 24th, 2017, and that was 217 days after Kamala's birthday. So these are the reasons that I'm so conflicted on exactly what they're doing. But it would be something if Trump does win, Biden doesn't finish the term, Kamala becomes president for a period of time. And remember, the other thing that Gerald Ford said in the Herbert Hoover Library about his prediction for a female president is he says, once we get a female president, it'll be hard for a man to ever win again. So it would be interesting if Trump won, Kamala becomes president before Biden's term's over, and then we don't see men win elections again because, say, Trump does such a shitty job in his second term. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right. I see we got people in the chat that want to chime in. All right. If you guys want to jump on, the link in the description is there. Feel free to hop on. You are more than welcome to. And I see the guy who guaranteed the World Series wouldn't be Dodgers and Yankees is acting like he's a know-it-all again. You're just on the record guaranteeing it wasn't going to be Dodgers and Yankees, but now you're back to know-it-all mode just a week later, huh? How many more false guarantees do you got to put out there for sports futures? How many more guarantees do you got to upload to the internet only to delete them because you embarrassed yourself again? And are you not a piece of shit? Did you not just put up a false video slandering me and then take it down? Why don't you put up a video apologizing? Because you're a human piece of shit. The same reason you guarantee false predictions and pose with fake money and still live in that broke little rat hole of a room. Simple troll. Yeah, I'm talking about simple troll. Of course I am. Simple troll who takes my picks and credit for my picks is his. What a total loser would do. If you claim another man's work is yours and act like you did something another man did, that makes you a loser. And you know what makes me sad is anytime I go in your comment section, it's you hearting racist comments. You got people that say, never trust a white boy. Yeah, never trust the white boy that exposed the code, helped fill up a lot of men's pockets who mostly are of a darker complexion. And here he is, simple troll. Simple troll. Fresh off guaranteeing it will not be the Dodgers and the Yankees. Here he is. All right, the man of the hour. What's up?
I'm not gonna lie, you have a sense of humor. You made me laugh tonight. Okay, are you ready for some real knowledge?
Are you going to share what I shared on my social media?
Sure. Are you ready for some real knowledge?
Okay, yeah. Drop what I shared on my social media like it's yours. Go ahead.
Okay, let me ask you something. When are you gonna stop calling me out of my name? Because I apologize about what I said to your wife. So why you keep calling me out of my name?
You just put up a video with my name saying "con man" on a false accusation, and then you
Well,
didn't.
somebody. I didn't say anything in that video. Somebody sent me a message, says,
You guys, see, this is just a goofy thing. I didn't say nothing in the video. I just put up a video titled Zachary K. Hubbard Con Man on a false accusation, and then I kept it up for 5 days, and then after I found out that it was a lie, I took it down. But I didn't say nothing. Here, before he comes back on, let me put up the real article about you so people can know your character. Here's the guy who keeps guaranteeing false picks. Let's see. Let's get it up here so we all know this is the same guy right here. He wants to come on here and act like it's okay to lie about people and slander them and go, "Oh, I didn't say nothing. I only uploaded Zachary K. Hubbard Con Man with a false accusation." Arthur Picardo, the TSA groper who stiffs cabbies and gets New York Post articles written about him. Okay, you were saying?
"Where's your proof that happened?"
Right here. Right here.
So why do you spend the last 10 years telling people that to not believe what the media reports?
This was a local article. This was a national news story.
Why do you tell people for the last 10 years to not believe what the media is saying?
This is a local story.
So it's true.
Well, I know your character. I mean, this adds up.
You don't know anything about me.
Here, Arthur, let's go through it. Did you make your website the exact same as mine with the exact color scheme?
Yes.
Yes. You came into the community and I helped you out and promoted your name. And then you immediately tried to make money after coming into the community. And you set up a Patreon copying my picks and doing your live stream at the exact same time as mine. True or false?
False.
No, it's not false. It's not false at all.
Okay, so you want me to answer or you just want me to say what you want me to say?
Well, because we all know what the truth is.
Okay, so it's true. So that's true as well.
It is true.
Okay, well, anything else you want to ask me?
Did you just guarantee it wouldn't be Dodgers and Yankees?
I didn't think it was going to be the Dodgers and Yankees, no.
Did you say I'm 100% sure it won't be Dodgers and Yankees?
I did.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
See, I'm not like you. I can admit when I'm wrong.
I always admit when I'm wrong.
Okay. So are you ready? I just want to know, are you going to keep calling me out of my name? You can keep the article up there. It doesn't matter.
Why wouldn't I? You just did another thing. You put up a false story about me scamming.
Well, this person, you ended up paying the guy $20 after the video.
I've been doing this for over 6 months and paid everybody who's one of my competition.
I have the screenshot, and I posted.
What? You have the screenshot of what?
Of the guy showing me the Cash App came after the video was made. Okay, that doesn't have anything to do with me. Just why you don't tell your audience about the real reason the Dodgers are about to sweep the Yankees? This is what you have
Arthur,
to start. Just hold on. Just hold on.
Hold on, Arthur.
Hold on.
I put
This is
up
what
on
I'm saying. We can't do this. You have to speak and then let me speak. All right.
You guys, this is why I don't like this guy. I put up the narrative, a tweet on my social media for the Dodgers to sweep. An hour or two later, he's doing a video about why the Dodgers can sweep. This guy subscribed to my Patreon. He copies my shit and then goes on and make videos saying I copy him. I've never been subscribed to your Patreon. You learned how to do this work from me and have been accusing me since you learned of me copying you, which is complete bullshit. That's why you look like the TSA groper who scams cabbies. You're a low character individual and a total delusional idiot. A few days ago, you said the Gematria community is kept afloat by you. That was right after you made another false prediction about a championship where we nailed it. And it's not sports predictions anyway that keep the Gematria community afloat. Again, it's just like, this guy's like a sociopathic liar. So again, it was about, I saw how he went live about 2 hours after I put up this post on Twitter, and he's going to act like it was his information. But this is what goes up on my social media. And then 2 hours later, here's Arthur. He's like, oh, it's going to be a sweep. Okay, yeah, because we know you're watching. Here's what I posted. Dodgers won 63 World Series over Yankees on 10-6. Last night, they got 106th win of the year, 6-3. They did sweep in 63, 10th inning, 6 runs. And then the guy, what blew me away is the guy I'm talking to in New York. He's like, that's weird. That's the day I was born. I was like, what in the hell? Then here comes Arthur. Arthur's got a video. It's going to be a sweep. Okay, go ahead, Arthur.
When did you post that tweet? Just tell us.
I'm sorry. I can't even bring this idiot on here. Stop pretending like, when did I post this tweet? 2 hours before you went live about it, moron. That's when. God, he's so full of shit, you guys. I mean, it's just, the guy's a fucking joke. He's like, everything he says is bullshit. God. He's like, Zach didn't have the Rangers last year. Shut the fuck up, dude. Stop claiming our picks. We had it game 1 at 50-1 odds, moron. You caught on hours before game 5 they were going to win it on Bush's 119th day of his age. And here's what I want to say. I want to say to shame on all of the darker complected people who hang out in this man's comment section, always talking racist shit about me. All of you guys are the problem. All of you are the problem. How are you going to be mad at me? Have I not been here for over a decade, sticking up for darker complected people, showing the code that the racist media uses to racially shame and murder black people? You know, Arthur and other people have learned about it and share it too, but they wouldn't know about it had yours truly not come around and exposed it. And then you sit there and talk shit. If you guys like rolling with Arthur, you must like having lint in your pockets. You must like empty guarantees and a guy who has to keep deleting his videos. Oh, another false guarantee from Arthur. My favorite one of all time was when he tried to fade the Super Bowl 55 narrative that we nailed both teams from before the season began. We had it figured out in March of that year, why the Bucks were going to beat the Chiefs. Super Bowl comes around, Arthur was fading it the whole time, and then he's like, mark my words, guarantee, Chiefs will beat Bucks. Mark my words. Yeah. Yikes. How many false guarantees between now and then, up to the latest? Here, I'm going to drop the link for other people who like to roll with Fat Arthur, because I don't even think you guys exist. I think you're the same bot troll accounts that post like in Brian's bullshit videos with all the same bullshit scams. You know, Arthur's there giving hearts to everybody. Yeah, Zach Hubbard's a racist. Heart from Fat Arthur. Yeah, he is a racist. Heart. Really? I'm a racist? Guy who spent over a decade exposing the racist system, helping people come up and see through it and not getting taken by it? Please. Please. For the guy who says, I'm going to get what I deserve. No, I'm not going to get anything. My karma is good. My karma is very good. I'm not going to get anything. You're going to get banned, though, right now. Take a hike, loser. Yeah, that's right. That's right. He guaranteed the Lions would win the Super Bowl last year. We didn't have any problem with that. We saw why it was going to be the Montana Bowl again. Dominated that again. He's guaranteeing the Lions. Another false guarantee. Like keeps using the word guarantee on false predictions. After all the false guarantees, then does a photo with a stack of fake money, like he's doing something. It's like, how are you guaranteeing all these false picks? And suppose you got a big fat stack of cash? Either you're trying to sell out your whole community, or that's fake cash. What's going on here? I don't because there's no point in letting you speak. Here, you want to speak? You want to speak, Fat Arthur? Go upload a video apologizing for making a video saying that I'm a scammer and you're lying. You're a dumbass. Your excuse of I didn't say anything in the video. You know what the best part of that video was? The guy who was wrong. The part of his recording was, I know you're on a cold streak right now, Arthur, but you'll get through it. You've been on a lot of cold streaks, haven't you? You've been on a lot of cold streaks. He's lying about me, but he still had to talk about the cold streak you're on. Poor guy. Didn't you have the Yankees to win game 1? Now you want to act like you figured it out to sweep after my social media posts. Okay. You can't even get game 1 right, which was a no-brainer, easiest call in the history of the world. You got that wrong, but then you got the sweep figured out by yourself. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Oh, man. Let's see. What's my opinion on the Yankees manager being from California, just like in 1981? Dave Roberts was born in Japan and New York bombed them in 45. Hmm. You make a good point there. You got the Japanese pitcher star on the Dodgers. You got Shohei Ohtani setting the 50-50 milestone, while Ichiro Suzuki, the greatest Japanese baseball star, was 50. Of course, Jack Robinson equals 50, known for power and speed. Yeah, Dave Roberts was born in a military base in Japan. I don't know. I don't know. I got to think more about that angle, though, but you're definitely onto something there. So, how come none of Fat Arthur's crew came on here? Does Fat Arthur even really have a crew, or are those just all bots in the comment section? I can't believe that anybody would subscribe to Fat Arthur. I mean, just a track record of false predictions, false guarantees. You think people get fed up? How many more false guarantees do you got, Fat Arthur? I mean, the guy's literally like an idiot, too. It's like, are people this dumb they can't see through him? He's accusing me of copying him while he's inside my Patreon. He's like showing my Patreon. He's like, yeah, he was copying my pics while going through my Patreon. It's like, it's weird. He subscribed to my Patreon, but I'm copying him. This is weird. He wants to come on one more time. You know what? Just because I'm giving him a beat down. The reason I don't like to bring him on, you guys, is because all that comes out of his mouth is lies and no accountability. Just like a second ago, he's like, I didn't say anything in the video. You posted on your video Zachary K. Hubbard is a con man with a false accusation. And the only good part of the video was the dude talking about you being on a cold streak. And good thing you started listening to your teacher, because I think you at least got the last 2 games of the World Series right. If I wasn't here, though, and you didn't start copying again, you'd probably be 0-3, and we both know it. All right, here he is, Arthur. All right, here, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to speak without interruption. I'm watching right now. You got 2 minutes.
Like, who am I, a kid? I don't care about your 2 minutes. Fuck your 2 minutes. All right. So whatever you have to say about me is fine. It's really funny to me because I know the truth. So look, that ticket that I placed for the Dodgers in 4, guess what? I placed that ticket on Wednesday, and I have the proof, and I'm gonna show it in my channel. All right, cocksucker. I don't understand what's your problem with me, because I thought you supposed to be said in the video, oh, let's bury the hatchet. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't look like you buried the hatchet. You're still talking shit. Now, yeah, I did post that video about you being a comment, and yeah, the reason I took it down is because you paid the guy after the video went up. You sent the guy a $20 cash app, and I have the screenshot. What I wanted to come on here was to show people what the World Series is really about, but obviously you want to make this about me and you. You have a personal issue with me. I don't know you. I've met you once. I don't have a personal issue with you. It's like this shit is comedy to me. Like, are you posting up an arrest that happened in 2014? Like, that shit is funny to me. I made so much money from that arrest, and then you're telling people that I'm a groper, blah blah blah, and then you're telling people that that's the truth because the Post reported it. Yet for the last 10 years, you've been telling people not to believe what the media reports. Like, you're a fucking comedian. But I get it. You're in this business to make money, and you have to destroy all your competition. I get it. Did I learn this from you? I did. Did I copy your blog how it looked? I did, because I didn't know how to do this work. I think I spoke about this a million times already. When I came into this community, I actually looked up to you. I was like, man, this guy is amazing. I like what he stands for. But then after, because it's been almost 7 years, then I got to little by little see the real side of you. I'm like, I don't think I like this guy anymore. And a lot of people felt that way. That's why a lot of people left. But I'm thinking that you can still fix all this. I think you still have time to fix all this if you put your ego to the side.
All right, and that's 2 minutes. Again, you guys, here's the problem with this guy. He came out to New York, and we know what he really came out to New York for. He was just trying to get back in good graces with people. But here's why, again, he's just dishonest when he talks. I gave him a second chance in New York. He was complaining that day about why we should all just give up because there's no hope. He was talking about how he couldn't even raise $300 to pay for the documentary and the film or the cameraman that you want to make a little documentary for. And I said to him that day, I said, whatever money you can't raise, I said, I'll pay for it for you. And he acted like he didn't want it. He said, I'll let you know if I can't raise it. The guy never gets back to me about it, but then he goes online and makes a video saying that I offered to pay for it and then didn't follow through, and then starts talking shit. And it's like, who does this? Like, who does this? He never reached back out. My offer was sincere. I've helped out plenty of people with more money than that. But why go online and make a false accusation again? And then he started some other beef over nothing. But his thing, listen, I never did anything to him but promote him. He started attacking out of nowhere and trying to use my name and say that he's better at making picks, which was never the case. And there's no truth or evidence to that ever. But I built him up and got him all of his original subscribers and helped him out, just like I've helped out a lot of people. And all he did in return was try to backstab. Like the OJ song, it's about people like Arthur. So just listen to his bull. I mean, you guys just hear his content of his character. He just explained how his no accountability style, made a false accusation. Again, Arthur, the reason you're a moron is because I've been doing the contest, paying people for over 6 months. And the guy who went to you and said he hadn't been paid yet, if he was listening to my live stream, I told everybody I was going to be sending the payments out Thursday night, which is when I sent them out. Okay. The game that we're doing right now, there's a lot of contestants and it takes a long time to score. Plus, I'm keeping up with everything else. So he was new to the thing. He thought he was going to get paid as soon as the contest was over Tuesday. Everyone's been paid for over 6 months. For you to rush out and make a video about how I'm scamming people is very dishonest. And then you take no accountability. And then you downplay and say, well, I didn't say anything in the video. I just put up a title, Zachary K. Hubbard is a con man. Re-upload the video because everybody can hear how your picks have been. He said, I know you're on a cold streak, Arthur. You'll get over it. Well, get used to it because that's all I've ever heard about Arthur being on cold streaks. So anyway. Yeah. And then again, just trying to downplay this article too. I talk about how mainstream national headlines are contrived bullshit. This is a local article about you, about beware of the groping TSA agent who rips and stiffs cabbies. And I mean, Why would I doubt this article for a moment, knowing the content of your character? You're a liar, a fraud, a scammer, a copycat who claims my success is yours, and then acts like. I mean, you've done it so many times. You've literally taken and copied my work, just like you copied my website, and then you claim that I didn't do it, but you did. How many times have you said that I copy your work? I have never copied you once. Why would I copy a kindergarten decoder? You know what I mean? The only time I gave you props was the time you deserved it. You made the connection with Drake in the NBA Finals the year Toronto beat Golden State, and you did beat me to the punch on that, and I've always given you credit for it. It's the only time you one up me, and maybe you will one up me again, but that's the only time you ever did it because you knew about Drake. I don't like Drake. I don't know a lot about him, but you had the connection, and as soon as I heard you say that, I said he's right on the money. Arthur's right on the money with this one. I gave you your props, your flowers. And just like I give everybody their flowers who deserves them. I haven't seen you do anything else ever to get flowers, not once. So, all right. He is crazy. He is crazy. All right. Well, I don't want to go on about him, but again, the work speaks for itself. Unprecedented track record, definitively have proved for over a decade how pro sports are rigged, news is rigged, politics is rigged, how it's all scripted together. It doesn't mean you can predict every last thing accurately, but you can still show how scripted and controlled and contrived it is. And realize this too, just about the election right now. Who told you the week of the inauguration in 2021 that 2024 would be between Kamala and Trump? And I said, when Biden's 81 and Kamala's 59, that's when there's going to be the transition of power. Now, the one thing that hasn't happened that I've been expecting, and it still very well can, we've been going off the Gerald Ford prediction, is that Biden will not finish his term because he'll pass away like Gerald Ford predicted. That remains to be seen. Maybe that's not going to happen, and then that part of the prediction will be wrong. But understand, there's merit to everything we're doing. Gerald Ford said the first female president will not be elected. They will become president when an old man dies and there's a woman vice president. And again, he did say it in the Herbert Hoover Library. Herbert Hoover died, again, October 20th, 1964. And think about this, too. Herbert Hoover is connected to the Great Depression, right? The Great Depression. So what does that say about a Kamala presidency as well? But October 20th, 64, the day he died, is also the day that Kamala Harris was born. And don't forget, Snoop Dogg has the same birthday as her, and he was carrying the torch in France right after Biden passed the torch to her. And remember, that phrase, pass the torch, equals 152, just like Kamala Devi Harris equals 152, just like the Simpsons episode where Lisa Simpson's the first female president wearing the same outfit that Kamala wore for Inauguration Day. That episode came out March 19th, 152 days after Kamala's birthday. I believe it was 2009. Hold on. Let me go back and see if that was 2009. I want to make sure that's right. Because that's when Obama was in his first term. And remember, Kamala's mom died on the 42nd day of the year, the Vatican's birthday, in the first month of Obama being in office. And don't forget, President's Day fell on 15/2, the 46th day of the year, when, hold on, right here. All right. So, again, they're making a big deal about this on Inauguration Day. Kamala and Lisa, the same outfit, purple with the pearl necklace, just like the Whore of Babylon's described wearing in Revelation 17. But yeah, it wasn't 2009, it was 2000. March 19th, 2000 is when that episode came out. 152 days after Kamala's birthday. So, if you don't count the span of days, it was 151 days later. Bart Simpson's 151. And remember, Lisa Simpson's 47, like Kamala's trying to become number 47. Again, her father, Donald J. Harris, came up with Huey P. Newton of the Black Panthers. Kamala spoke at the DNC on the anniversary of Huey P. Newton's death at age 47. So we got a DK Stonewood sighting. What's up, DK?
Did you bring me on?
You're on. What's up, man?
I can't hear it. Okay, I couldn't hear anything for a minute. Do you really think anyone is giving Owen Benjamin $400 to hang out with him? Or because as far as I can see, I don't think
that there's a lot of people complaining online that they sent in their 400. It seems like a ton of people did.
I would suggest if you paid people $400, no, you wouldn't even have any takers to hang out with Owen Benjamin. So I think these stats are.
Well, if you ever saw that guy when he was on YouTube, he made a fortune in his live streams. People were throwing money at him like it was crazy, unless that's just the machine.
Of course, and I mean, he's the most unfunny so-called comedian I've ever seen. A big old goofy, unathletic as fuck Khazar 6'10" guy with zero athletic ability. What a goofball.
And I don't know if you ever saw where he smoked weed, but man, I never seen anybody not handle their weed before. Like, God, you're that big, and I would think like when you're that big and you smoke some weed, you wouldn't get that goofy and out of it. The guy like passed out. So
yeah, these fake Jews, they don't have that gene to handle higher frequency. They can't get high. They try to get high, and it just they're so low already. It just totally fucks with them. That's why they don't want anyone in the police and military smoking weed, because they may realize a couple things about what they're doing. And then I wouldn't know about any of these guys if you didn't mention them, like the guy Brian Young, Anomaly. What's the other guy? Have you noticed they all have the exact same estrogen voices? Like they all sound trans. It's that Neanderthal, fake Jew creature gene they got. That's why they're all like that, It's just like I'm hearing the same voice. And then the guy who called in last night with the same estrogen voice talking about Delaware and Egypt and all kinds of other bullshit nonsense. I mean, I'm like, does that really? I mean, I could tell like 3 words out of these guys' mouth. I'm like, right away, this is going to be a troll. There's so much estrogen in this guy's voice. I mean, it just sounds like they're talking through their pussy. You know what I mean? It's so bad. And then, that's all you got around you is these fake Jews and sellout niggas, like, I can't believe you put this fat, ugly, guy with like a kindergarten IQ on right now. And, they probably told him, they're like, hey, listen.
Things you're saying, though, are also going to bait other people and make all kinds of people mad. That's why people are mad suspicious of you, too. So,
but all kinds of who's mad. It's going to make all the trolls mad. I think the only legit, like, followers that you had, that were black was, like, I think, was that guy's name Littleton, who came out to LA. And I think that's it. That one other guy that had that, like, Illuminati necklace was obviously sent there as a troll. That was like, like the only real guys you'll get is like, like very few.
He was a troll. I don't know if he was a troll. I don't know that guy was a troll.
Well, I do, and so do some of
people in this community.
Huh?
There's a lot of legit black people in this community.
Oh no, I'm just saying the ones that I met in LA. I don't know all the other ones. I'm sure there is, obviously, but I'm just saying in LA when we came out, I think there were 2, and one was obvious a troll, and the other guy was obviously legit. And like all the other people that were there from LA, they could even tell you we were like just talking on the side. You got a lot of shit to focus on when you got, you got the mic and the speaker and a lot of people around you. So like maybe you're not paying attention to as many of the things that are going on behind the scenes while you're talking. But yeah, that was like kind of obvious. And it was probably obvious as hell in New York and stuff like that. They're just, back in those days, you were surrounded by a lot of them that you gotten rid of. So you probably couldn't really tell because nobody like from your honest community was pointing it out. Like I would have just kind of questioned everybody little by little and just been like, that dude's a troll. That dude's a troll. But like, this guy, what reason he sounds so disgusting, this fat, fat, ugly Arthur guy is because he's trying to be, fake Jew. Every single word out of their mouth is a lie. And then like when you hear it from another ethnicity from, you're just like, what? This doesn't even sound, but we're so used to it from these Jewish creatures, They said, what was their motto is like, accuse your enemy of that which you are guilty of yourself, you know, and that's exactly all they do. They just say you're a con man, you know, they got shit, you know, they decoded some shit when they actually got it from you. It's just like, you know, it's just a constant circle of that. That's all they can do. That's all they're capable of. And in my, you know, my opinion, it's your show and, you know, you're following, you do whatever you want. But in the scripture, it says, have no fellowship with these creatures. Absolutely leave them for dead. Don't take any money from them. Expose them at every turn. So, I mean, my advice would just be absolutely just block them at every turn. Don't give them 1 second like to come on, like the Cuts retard guy or any of these guys, because truly, if somebody from the outside who actually has a brain is like listening to you for the first time, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this shit? These guys are, all these retards are calling in. This must be a retard show, you know? It just makes it look so bad. And I'm like cringing whenever I hear these guys. I'm like, I'm just trying to get the few gems from Zach, and I gotta listen to this shit, like Jesus, you know? And I already know what's going on. So I'm thinking of like, if I were just coming in now, there's a chance that I might just skate right over your work because of it, you know? I'm like, I don't think that's a good look, you know? They make everything.
Okay. It's like people are getting mad in the chat right now, and I'd say half the people in my ear can't stand when you come on.
Yeah, and who's saying that? Why don't you come on right now and we'll just talk nicely? Come on the StreamYard, whoever's saying that, and let's talk. They ain't gonna come on, you know, because it's another bot or another fake Jew troll account. And I mean, you know, like I was talking about the guys with dreads being like the umbrella mans, you know, it's got all these guys, all they do. And even if they come on and they don't say anything that bad, they're just filibustering, wasting time completely. Like they're not saying anything. They haven't brought anything to the work that everybody's going to go like, oh shit, that's a good point. You know, oh, you know, it's just like the only time anyone ever gives them any credit is when you say, oh, you know, that's a good one, you know, and then like people will be like, okay, well, Zach gave him credit for that, so I guess he deserves some credit, you know, but in reality, they don't deserve any. I don't think any of them have brought anything, you know, even the, you know, Jonathan with the rappers. I mean, okay, maybe, you know, some people are interested in that, but you know, if you can't wake people up with Gematria, you're going to wake them up with dead rappers, like, you know, and then you got that other guy who's,
I think the thing is, everybody likes Jonathan. Jonathan's an OG in the community.
Yeah,
and
no, I mean,
like
I said,
so, I mean, that's the thing.
He's not saying
people like with Jonathan. It's like there's no reason to be beefing with Jonathan.
No, I mean, I have no beef with the guy or anything, and I don't think when he comes on he says anything bad. But it's just like it's just another filibuster, a waste of time. And then like now you got that new version of the fake Jewish kid in Florida, the black guy with dreads, the Jay with wandering eyes guy. Like he just calls in and just starts battling about anything. And he's like almost another one of these guys that are just you know, like what are you even saying? What? You know, like they don't have any, you know, like anything pertinent, even for like the niche market of Gematria, they don't even have anything. They're like all repeating your stuff, you know, that's it. It's like we already heard that from Zach. And I mean, that's just my take on it anyways, from what I'm seeing from the outside. I mean, I gave that guy some advice, like he was talking about having all these problems with diet and all that. I'm like, listen, let me just give you some generic advice, you know, from someone who's been doing this for like 15 years now, as far as the diet and stuff is concerned. You know, everything comes from the sun. That's why, you know, the original Christians, falsely called the pagans, were worshiping, you know, one creator God, and the Romans were worshiping all their 72 demons of the Goetia and all that. But in that representation of that creator was the sun in the sky, you know. So without the sun, you got nothing. It makes all the plants grow. So we eat the plants, and then we also eat some of the animals that are eating the plants. So when you're eating a plant, it's literally like petrified sunlight. That's why you see all the fruits and vegetables are all the different colors of the light spectrum. So like when you're eating that, you're like one stage removed from literally eating sunlight. You know, you're eating like petrified sunlight. Then when you eat an animal like a cow or a sheep or any you know, herbivore, you're now eating an animal that's eating the petrified sunlight. So now you're 2 stages removed from the sun. Then, you know, people talk about, oh, you know, we don't farm like lion. We don't farm these animals that are predators because they're eating other animals. So there's very, very little nutrition in their meat because they're now 3 stages removed. They're eating an animal that's eating a plant that's petrified sunlight, then if we go eat that, we're like 4 stages removed from the sun. So I'm like, I just kind of explained to him, the further you get away from the life giver, the sun, the more you're going to fuck with your body, you know? And then he went, that was like 4 sentences. He went and made like a 50-minute video of how that's bullshit. I'm like, so right away, that should tell you, like, listen to the discrepancy there in the ability to communicate. 4 sentences, a 50-minute video, you know? So I can say in 4 sentences what he has to try to debunk, which doesn't even make any sense because everything I'm saying is 100% true and been told by people before I was even born. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference in the communication.
A guy that's in his early 20s, and I mean, Jay's way ahead of his time for most people who are in their early 20s. You're over twice as old as him.
That's what I'm saying. But, you know, is that even legit? You know, he's saying he has all these diet problems, but then he knows all this stuff about that. I'm like, how do you have? Doesn't make any sense for a guy who, if you know this much, you should.
But give him 25 years when he's as old as you, and then he might be on the same level. And like I said, he's way ahead of his time for being in his early 20s. So
either that, or he's, you know, somebody's putting him up to do what he's doing. I'm not sure. I mean, you know, it's like you said before, you didn't want to. It's hard to accept. You didn't want to accept that the Matrix guy, when the other guy that was a Fed who made the movie told you he was a Fed. Like, I mean, I'm pretty certain it's like
Jonathan's not a bad guy. I've crashed at Jonathan's place. If he was the Matrix, the Matrix was trying to get me to crash at his place, and I didn't trust him. I mean, like, discernment. But
that one you maybe should have went for just to see what's really going on, to be honest. Because do you think the guy's really making money from his own business? Like he said, he's got a tire shop and all that. I'm like, you know, does he even know anything about tires? So yeah, it's just like, I don't know, you know. And I don't have anything against any one of them. I never even met any one of them in person, but I'm just saying from the outside, this is how, like, it seems to me. And I fear that if anybody else with like half a brain is going to like be turned on to your work and then hear all that stuff, they're going to be like, shit, what in the fuck is going on here? That's what I said way back when. And I thought the show was way better back then. Now it's like just 100% trolls, almost like barely ever does the real call squeak in, you know? When I first, that was like, what, 2 years ago? My first comment was the Gabby Petito small talk and brain laundry. So was that like 2 years ago or something? I thought the show was so much better back then. And there was a mix of like, you know, I'm like, this guy's really on point. But there's all kinds of these just callers that just, it doesn't even make any sense that they'd be calling if they're following his work. They can't be that dumb. This is like there's a bunch of Howard Stern characters calling in. What's going on? Now it's so much worse. I think we've kind of like forgotten where your show used to be. Now it's just all trolls. And then like at some point you're like giving them time so you could kind of go back and forth with them. Like, I don't know. I think that's probably a bad look because you're coming with really high IQ stuff. And then they're coming from so bottom of the barrel, like from underground. It just like, I don't know. I don't think there's any way
sometimes you're over the top mean to the callers. And just like a lot of people don't like what you're saying. I mean, it's just, I let people air out their stuff. And, you know, I don't agree with everything anybody calls it. Just like half the people don't agree with half of the things I say. But people feel that you're always trying to piss people off and be a divider. I give you the benefit of the doubt. I've met you in person. You're all right. But even in person, that last night, people are getting mad at you. I forget what you said, but somebody's like, dude, what are you talking about? That person is not Jewish. Because you were like accusing somebody of being Jewish who was not. And anyway, so
can I clarify that just for a second?
But there is also a very divisive side of DK. DK, I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah, I am trying.
All right, close it out.
I am definitely trying to divide amongst the fake and the real people. That is true. I want to make a little comment on the or just like a clarification for the Jews. When I say somebody's like a fake Jew or Jewish, I'm not talking about Judaism whatsoever, not even in the slightest. I'm talking about an ethnicity here, a non-human element that we have here infiltrating on Earth. These are not actually human beings. They're different types of creatures. So that's what I mean by that. And as far as people trying to question that, like, I'm probably the utmost scholar on fake Jew names and who the fake Jews are. I come from Europe, where these people come from.
Also, not exactly, because like you said, Hoffman is a fake Jew name. I know a ton of Hoffmans that are not Jewish. They're little stout Germans from North Dakota, and none of them are Jewish.
Okay, so that doesn't. I don't mean like they're following Judaism. I mean they have either they could be partially or fully have that same Neanderthal hybrid gene that these folks are made out of. Hoffman is definitely a fake Jew name, 100%. Just like Benjamin is, just like that guy Brian Young. These are all fake Jew names, and like maybe I have an advantage because in Europe they teach us about this shit. That they're infiltrating all these European countries. We even call them like gypsies and all kinds of other shit because they don't have a
There's
country.
nothing about the name Hoffman being Yiddish or Jewish. There might be some Jew Hoffmans, but there's so many Hoffmans in the world that are not Jewish. That I can assure you.
There could be, but
my mom's sisters are from the tiny town in North Dakota, and 3 of her sisters are married to boys from a family who are all Hoffman, and they're all German Catholics. And one of them is my uncle, who was always telling me when I was a child that Hitler was actually a great man. So if you think these people are as far from Jewish as you possibly could ever be, and their names are Hoffman.
Well anyway, Hitler was
I got lots of other people off, man. I appreciate it though. But you guys, DK always does seem to come on here and try and just like piss everyone off. But I've met him in person, and there's a decent side to DK Stonewood as well. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And it's just like I've given Arthur, who came on here, to be in 1,000 chances, but he keeps always stirring shit up and then acting like it's my fault. I get sick of that. Let me bring R on, and then I got to bring up my man, Jack Talcott. We're going to do a stream tomorrow. You guys might remember Jack. He used to call into TFR quite often. What's up, R?
What up, Zach? Damn, he took up a lot of time. But okay, so the Steelers won, right? Boom. We're heading into our bye. We're 6-2. We're going to Washington next. And remember what I was saying? We have a possibility of going 7-2 to start the season. So
yeah.
I think it's there because they're hyping up Jaden Daniels, but he's still a rookie. And then remember also I said we had a possibility of going undefeated, but Mike Tomlin, he needs to hit, if we win every game this season for the rest of the season, Mike Tomlin hit overall a total number of wins. I forgot what the number was. It's like, so he's on 187. So, okay, so it's 7 more games. We're on 6. It's a 18-game season, right?
Here, we'll save this one for later. But hey, congrats to your Steelers on the W.
He took up so much time, bro. It sucks. I don't know what we didn't even say no gematria, bro. Like, what was he saying?
Yeah, he's on a DK rant, so that's what he does.
But he does it every time, bro. And it's like I'm trying to actually get this like little information, but now I'm like, I know we're kind of on time, it's about to be 12, but it's like, dude, like, come on, bro. Like, at least some decoding of relevancy of the Monday night game tonight, Dodgers, NHL basketball, something. Like, he just went off on some, I don't know, but that makes, honestly, to me, it makes you seem like you're an agent, dude, because you're just rambling on nonsense. And actually, the community has been coming with great calls recently, bro. Back in the day, 5-6 years ago, it was a lot of trolls.
Right, because he always calls in and rips on the community.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
because he's not actually, you're right, he doesn't actually contribute to the work that I do. Sometimes he does call in with some really good information. He does know good health information. If you guys, the thing about DK is he's nearly 50 years old, but he looks like he's in his 30s. So
yeah, I thought he was 30. That's crazy.
That is where most of it, unless he's lying about his age. When I met him in LA, he said he was 47. And I was like, "You're 47?" And then the other night he was trying to call somebody else out for being 47. I was like, "Wait a minute, you said you were 47 when I met you." So anyway.
He seems like an agent to me, honestly, because everyone. But I mean, you know him longer. But
well, he came over from the Fullerton Informers channel, and I'm pretty sure the Fullerton Informer is an agent. So that's another thing that is a little bit sus about DK Stonewood. The Fullerton Informer is a total bullshitter con man with his frizzy ass hair, just talking about the same bullshit every day. That someday the 5G they're going to use it to fry all of us. Like, no, that's never going to happen.
And then he tried to divide even more by saying the N-word. I'm like, bruh.
See, that's I know. He does that. It's like, dude, I just feel like you're just trying to piss people off.
Yeah, he is, bro. He's not. You're not slick, dude. I'm on to you, and every time you come on, it's a bunch of bullshit. But all right, I'll get off, Zach. We'll talk tomorrow, man.
All right. Shout out to your Steelers. That's the biggest Steelers fan in the community. All right. If you guys don't know Jack Talcott, good guy. We're going to do a collaboration tomorrow. Tomorrow, I just want to talk about spirituality, religion, have an open conversation. Jack can share about himself. When you guys don't talk yet, Jack, when people hear your voice, they'll be like, I know his voice. Jack used to always call into TFR. He's pounded pavement with me out in the Spokane area, and he's trying to build up his channel. And trolls just love to attack Jack every day. So what I'm hoping is that tomorrow when we do a stream, and I hope other people participate in our conversation, I want to have a real conversation about spirituality. People don't like to talk about politics and religion, but I think we need to talk about it way more for society to heal personally. I've always thought that since I was a child. I was like, how can people not want to talk about politics and religion? These things seem like the things everybody should be talking about. It come to some kind of consensus through agreed knowledge or anyway, it's only going to happen through conversation. So Jack and I are going to do a stream, and I saw he was in the chat and said, well, why don't you come on and just give a little warm up for tomorrow? But how you doing, Jack? Thanks for coming on.
Hey, I'm feeling blessed, and I appreciate it. And your patience is shining, my friend.
Well, sometimes my patience is pissing people off because they're like, why is he still on? But
I know. Regarding tonight, the numbers, I don't want to interrupt. I'm not able to really contribute to the number conversations or the patterns, but thank you. I appreciate it. And what do you want to do for today? Or
again, there's many things, but tomorrow, you guys, going to be an open panel discussion. Jack and I are going to go back and forth a little bit on our different ideas about spirituality, because we have a lot. I think we have a lot of things in common, but we also have some. There's definitely some contrast there as well. And I'm hoping we'll just get more people to come in and have the conversation. People always want to demonize me because I don't have the same spiritual beliefs as them. I think that's something humanity has to stop doing. Stop saying like, oh, you don't think or believe the same way I do, so you're a bad person. It's like, as long as humanity continues to do that, humanity is going to be plagued by the exact same problems we're all experiencing right now. I mean, how many wars in this world are in the name of religion? My sweet lady, she's from Burma, has the longest ongoing civil war in the world, and they're all fighting over their religions because Burma's mostly divided between three religions: Buddhism, Islam, and Christianity. And there's a major civil war with the different states. There's 7 main states in Burma. Burma's the size of Texas, but 7 different states divided by religion and all fighting with each other for over 50 years now. So
it's crazy. That's one of the things I love about you, and that's what I mentioned on my own stream, is that behind not just the numbers and the patterns, your message is really about people living better lives, finding more health, building better community, building better lives, realizing, hey, it's time to live differently. So you and I, we have a lot in common, and I look forward to reconnecting again a little more.
All right. I look forward to it too. So tomorrow we might spar a little bit for fun. It won't be mean, but just to get the conversation going. But yeah, if you guys don't know Jack, you can also plug your channel. You guys, what I would really like, because I know there's a lot of people who follow me who identify as Christian, and they don't really like me because I admittedly say that I was raised Christian, but I'm not Christian anymore. I'd like to see more people who are Christian connect with Jack. Because Jack, you identify as Christian now, correct?
Pretty much. I mean, I'm reluctant to do so because, in my opinion, Christianity's kind of done a disservice to their own reputation. But for those who identify as Christian and really care, I see, yeah, join. It's time for us to improve the reputation of what it means.
Right. And for people who are not familiar with Jack, his channel is also something that I think a lot of people can resonate with. It's also about overcoming addiction and solving your problems and not letting your past, if you've really screwed up in the past, destroy your life going forward, but recognizing that you've made mistakes in the past and now here's the way you make it better going forward. I mean, you'll see that Jack is an open and honest guy, and he allows people to come on and really use him as a punching bag, and he continues to give these people a chance each day. Because in a way, Jack, I think you are starting to filter out some of these people, but some of them I think like they've beat you up enough, and they don't really show that they want to do anything besides come and punch at who you are each day. And at some point, that becomes like not good for you, I would say. But
Agreed.
I feel bad watching these people come on and harass Jack every day. And I think like there should be more people in there just talking about the same things Jack's talking about, like trying to purify yourself and become a better person and make a better path going forward. So I know there's people in this community who would like someone like Jack more than they like me. I have a lot of people who hang around here who don't like me because, again, we're not the exact same. I'm like, maybe I can get them to go to Jack's channel, not because they're bad people, but maybe then they'll be happy. Like, oh, now I got a Christian with an open panel who I can talk about and have more in common with. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, again, you guys, Jack used to call TFR quite a bit. We'd usually argue. Jack's of the belief that we can make these politics, and maybe Jack's not wrong. Jack thinks if enough good people get in the ears of these corrupt politicians, they'll become better people. Maybe it's true. Like, I think we need to have a revolution. Jack thinks if we so anyway, we'll talk about all these things tomorrow.
We'll work it out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey, Zach, I'm gonna bow out. Thank you very much, brother.
All right. Have a good night.
Blessings to you.
All right. Yeah. Take care. All right. So yeah, and I like to talk about spirituality. It's my other favorite topic. So I'm hoping people will participate in that conversation tomorrow. It'll probably happen sometime around 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern, maybe 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern, somewhere around there. Jack and I are both on the West Coast, but I've always liked to help people out, and I don't like, again, if you guys are not familiar with his channel, man, he's got just people going in and just being so mean to him every day, and I just find it so weird. It's like, here's a man talking about the mistakes he made in the past and how he's overcoming them. And then it's like people just want to go on, and the whole nature of the internet and trolls, it's so weird. Again, for all the trolls out there, do you guys not understand that attacking somebody else isn't really a way to improve your own life? It might give you some kind of weird pleasure, but you're not really doing anything positive for yourself. There's just so many better things you could be doing than trolling. Let's bring on a gentleman, I think it's a gentleman who was in the chat, and I'm pretty sure he was getting irritated with DK. Welcome.
What's going on, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I was just in the chat. I came on a couple days ago, and we were talking about the World Series, so I just wanted to come on again, and maybe we can talk about some more numbers.
Sure.
Yeah, so today's the 29th of the month, so I want to go ahead and drop something for 2/9, which is the date of the Super Bowl 59, and you did have the Lisa Simpson up there with the Kamala Harris connection. And I actually got on this because you typed in President Donald Trump earlier, which equals 112 in reverse reduction. Kamala Harris without her middle name, just Kamala Harris, equals the 112 number.
Yep.
The Super Bowl is actually being held a span of 112 days after her 60th birthday, right?
And that was the day that she became 6-0 over her city, 112 days for the Super Bowl, right? Yeah, we've been talking about these things.
Well, it's actually also, and I know you were talking about the Trump shooting a little earlier. It's actually 211 days after the Trump shooting as well. So it's the 112 after her birthday. It's the 211 after the 7/13 Trump shooting. Well, 211 is the 47th prime number. The last Super Bowl that this team, who I'm gonna reference today, their last Super Bowl that they competed in was the 45th Super Bowl.
Steelers and Packers?
Right. and obviously we saw the Steelers play today. That was from the state of Pennsylvania where Trump was shot, and the Super Bowl being held a span of 211 days after that shooting.
And just so people remember, Kamala's mom died right after Obama became president. She died on February 11th, the date that can be written 2/11 or 11/2, which is also the 42nd day of the year. Like Kamala's 42, and Biden passed the torch to her 42 months and a day after they took office.
Yep. So there's also another connection I want to make to this as well. Vince Thomas Lombardi, his full name equals 112. He became the famous coach of the Packers in the year 59. And obviously the Super Bowl is played for the Vince Lombardi trophy.
Okay. And again, it reminds me that he was a Jesuit, and the Jesuits operate in 112 countries, and he died unexpectedly at Jesuit Georgetown the day before the 1970 season began. And a lot of things are pointing to that 1970 season, like the Chiefs becoming 7-0 to start the year, and Mahomes became 11-2 versus the Raiders this past Sunday.
Yeah. So that's my look for the Super Bowl. I did want to come on and just, drop. And there's a lot more with it. There's also another good connection. They're in their 105th year of existence. Of course, it's the 105th NFL season. Vince Thomas Lombardi would be 111 years old in the 105th NFL season, just like Jorge Mario Bergoglio is the 111, 105. And this all just really sparked because you do have that Lisa Simpson up. And I see you put that out on date 120. Her birthday is the 120 October. Interesting, but yeah, I don't know. I was listening to the show tonight, wanted to actually come on and give out some information, see what you thought.
It is all very interesting. Again, Kamala was in Philly the day of the Trump shooting in Butler outside of Pittsburgh, and big sports rituals. Yeah.
Yep. So I think it's the 112 Bowl. Of course, last year's Super Bowl was on day 211.
The very first Super Bowl ever was Packers and Chiefs, and that was the 47th season of the NFL in light of this running for number 47 thing.
Did they play in back-to-back Super Bowls, 1 and 2?
No.
Gotcha.
Here, I'll pull it up, the Super Bowl history for people who don't know. Packers beat the Chiefs, and then they beat the Raiders. And then Broadway Joe guaranteed the Colts would win Super Bowl III as big underdogs.
Yeah, it's 2-9. I figured I'd talk about some Super Bowl. I already have, that and another team loaded up on all the futures bets. So,
all right. Well, I appreciate all those thoughts.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Keep doing your thing.
Will do. You have a good night.
Yep, you too, bud.
All right. Yeah, it's already after midnight out here. Time flew by. So anyway, congrats to the winners. We've been on a nice little hot streak. And if you want to join us, Patreon. I don't charge a lot. It's important knowledge, and it's way bigger than rig sports. But the nice thing about sports is it challenges your mind to really solve puzzles each day. And what I've taught people how to do is, rather than be gambling junkies, how to have a little fun with a dollar bill, a $5 bill, turn a dollar into 50, turn 5 into 100. And again, the mentality I teach is if you lose your bet for the day, discipline yourself the next day, and don't waste your money on something stupid that you don't need, because almost every American does that every day. Waste their money on stupid stuff they don't need, whether it's junk food, soda, cigarettes, alcohol, fast food, pay-per-view BS, what do you call it when you rent a movie online, some trash Hollywood movie. I used to have a buddy who never knew how to save money, and what he did every day after work is he'd go home and rent movies every day to watch on whatever it's called, Direct TV or whatever. It's just like paying $5 to $8 to rent a movie you don't need to see. It's just like read a book, man. Go to the library and get books for free. Yeah, cocaine, exactly. Prostitution, whatever, man. Apparently, people are paying money on porn websites. But what's the new thing? Some girls are making a fortune. What's it called? OnlyFans. I'm thinking about moving Gematria to OnlyFans. I'm going to start working out and do Gematria on OnlyFans to fund this movement. So, it's a thought. All the trolls keep calling it Gematria, and I start to hear my trolls' voices. They're super lispy. I'm like, maybe that's what they really want. They want Gematria. Okay. We'll try it out. Gematria. All right, you guys. That's it for tonight. Congrats to the winners. We'll be streaming tomorrow, Patreon, and then we'll be doing the stream with Jack Telcott, talking about spirituality and whatever else comes. And again, it'll be an open stream if you guys want to participate. And by the way, if you guys want to check out Jack's channel, this is his channel right here, Jack Telcott. That's the man. He's got a good speaking voice. And if you guys don't remember him, he used to call into TFR almost every week, and I'd give him a real hard time. And I might have to give him a hard time a little bit tomorrow too, but I won't be too mean. Jack and I definitely have different perspectives on the politicians in this country. Jack doesn't like him either, but Jack thinks that they can be persuaded to be decent people. I actually don't think that's possible. I think it's off with their heads or bust. But we'll talk about all that tomorrow and more. So if you guys want to give Jack a sub, he deserves better people than the people who frequent his channel and give him a hard time every day. He really does. He really does. He just wants a better world too. He's just coming at it from a different angle. So I don't. Yeah, shout out to Big Al. Congrats to the winners indeed. Yeah, got to be trolls in the chat. What I'm looking at right now. Yeah, that's it for tonight, guys. Have a good one. Until next time.